Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit with you on a Wednesday night. I'm going to throw the Baer Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw that back at me. Let me know you're here. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi. Or throw an emote from some other stream, and that's cool too. Thank you for being here. It is a Wednesday night. And I will explain Last Brick's here, how Last Brick, Lord Crashton is here. Hell yeah. What am I doing here on a Wednesday? You're like, Pat, it's a Wednesday. What's up? Well, the answer to that is pretty simple. On Saturday night, I'm going to be streaming, but I'm not going to be building. So instead of doing only 2 build streams this week, and then doing like a game stream tonight, instead, I'm going to do a build stream on a Wednesday which is normally my gaming night. And I'm going to mix it up by doing a build stream so that Saturday I can do like a bonus stream, even though it's a night we always stream at. And that stream will kick off at 7:30 Eastern p.m. I should make clear, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll be streaming on Saturday because I am going to be doing a watch along for the Anime Awards. Crunchyroll presents the Anime Awards. Now, I originally was calling this a co-stream, or a viewing party, perhaps, I might say. But it's not going to be that. It's going to be a watch-along, because I am fairly convinced that I will get my stream shut down if I show the awards. In previous years, they have done co-streams. They've allowed for co-streaming. All you had to do was send an email with your Twitch address. So I assumed they were going to do that this year. They're not doing it this year. This year they're streaming on multiple platforms beyond just Twitch. And probably because of that, they are not allowing for co-stream. And my stream, obviously my channel is small enough that I could theoretically get away with it, but I'm not going to risk it, which is worse. Dude Wants His Rug is here. Hi, Dude Wants His Rug. Generally, a co-stream is better because it means that if you are watching on mobile, you see me and you see the footage at the same time. If you are watching on, let's say, a delay, you have to sync up with my live stream to that. You might be a few seconds ahead of me. Because you're watching on another tab. And mobile, you're probably not going to be able to watch 2 tabs. There are some phones that can do that, but most mobile devices can't do that. So it's limiting. And it means that I have to make sure that it's in my headphones, and I'm kind of really splitting my focus there, which is a shame, and is not how I would like to stream the awards. But I don't want to run the risk of having my channel having a strike against my channel, having the stream get shut down, anything like that. I don't want to run any risk. I'm an affiliate. I would like to continue to be an affiliate. So that's the preamble about Saturday, which I'll also explain. One of the reasons why I'm starting at 7:30 is to talk about the awards, but also make it very clear what's going on. And I'll be very clear as we progress to that. But what's up for tonight? Well, tonight we're building Lego. That's right. Finally, we got the Resistance A-Wing Starfighter to build tonight. I've got the instructions right here. This is the first Lego set we've done in 2020. We have only done, up to this point, model kits. So I'm very excited about getting into something, doing something a little different, getting into some Lego. I knolled the first bag, 3 bags. I've got bags 2 and 3 to knoll. As they come up, I'll probably knoll 2 and 3 together. Now, this is a 269-piece nice kit. I'm expecting to do most of it tonight and probably a little bit of it I'll have to do tomorrow on Thursday. And then I would love it. You're already here, but maybe you're going to watch this on archive, or you're unsure if Thursday night works for you and your schedule. Well, I'm going to let you know that you should be here tomorrow on Thursday, because it's going to be it's Galentine's Day tomorrow, and I am going to celebrate Galentine's Day by putting together I'll show you what it looks like. No, that's not it. There you go. This is the kit that I'll be working on tomorrow. I'm giving you a preview right now. Look at that, how cute that is. Look how cute that is. I'm going to work on that tomorrow. Not today, tomorrow. Because tomorrow is the closest stream to Valentine's Day without going over. So we'll celebrate Valentine's Day tomorrow by making this cool little love bee. And then go back to whatever we're working on. What I showed you briefly there is, this is Yamcha's car. Hi, Jam. Welcome. This is Yamcha's car, the Mighty Mouse. If you've been watching the channel for a while, here for the A-Wing, the best Rebel ship. Ultron, indeed. This kit looks rad. It's got a lot of decals on it. This is the most decals I've seen per piece in a long time. It's a lot of decals. Because it's only 269 nice pieces and a lot of decals. So that's fine. We'll have no problem with that. This is Yamcha's car. They're mini model kits. There are 7 of them. One for each Dragon Ball. And when you buy all 7, each one comes with a piece for the 8th kit. We have number 5 left to do. Lord Crashton's here. Hi, Lord Crashton. Throwing in a cool emote there. That is that's a Mary Kish emote. I knew that. Yeah. I was a stream watcher for a very long time before I found out you could click on emotes to find out information about that emote. I just didn't know it. Yeah, you can just click on it. A nice emote for the 6ix9ine. Indeed. But yeah, Mighty Mouse, the 5th one, is the last one that we have to build in this series, and then we'll be able to also build the bonus, which is a little plane, and I'm very excited about that. And that's coming up. Basically, whenever we can squeeze it in, we're going to build that. And then we also, coming up, this came from my wish list from Ray. Ray bought this off my wish list. Look at that. This is a high grade. This is a Kamaris high grade, going back to Iron Blood Orphans with a beautiful looking high grade. I'm just a sucker for that yellow, for that dark gray, for that light purple and dark purple. Ooh, you got light and dark purple in you? Hell yeah. I don't even love yellow that much in my general life, but as an accent color on a mobile suit, wow, chef's kiss. Anyway, that's stuff that's coming up in the future. Let's talk about the present. And I'll make this nice and big so you can see what's up with this. Look at that. There we go. Whoop, nope. That's not what I want to do. I want to enlarge it. There we go. Oh. Why is everything being complicated? All right, now we can make it bigger. There it is. Look at that. Nice looking kit, says Jam. Heck yeah. So here's our Resistance A-Wing Starfighter. I love a good Starfighter. I love an A-Wing. I think I love a Y-Wing. I love a U-Wing. I think B-Wings are underrated. I think the wings are all great. I think X-Wings get all the attention, and for good reason. I don't disagree with that. But, oh yeah. Also, we're going to start with one of our 2 minifigs. Let's build Snap. That's right. Let's build a character based on a guy who gets work because his friend is a director. And a lot of people scoff at this dude, at Greg being in all kinds of films, and maybe Greg doesn't belong in all these films. And to that I say, I mean, I get it, but I also, sign me up. Let me be somebody's sidekick. Let me be somebody's good luck charm. Rissavan says, evening, Pat. B-Wing represent. Indeed. But yeah, this is I should make this official. It is an unofficial thing. I would love to be someone's good luck charm. Put me in your movies. Many people that have come through the UCB system. Once you start directing and you're out there, put me in those movies. Let me be your good luck charm. Let me be in all your stuff. Let me be connective tissue. Throw some stuff in there, right? Let me get in on it. I got no issue. I'll back it up. I think Greg backs it up. Anyway, here he is with his beard and his helmet and his gun, ready to pilot a Starfighter in the future. So later, of course, we'll talk about anime, and we do run into an issue where when in the course of doing back-to-back streams, we run into a fundamental problem, which is we're in the winter's anime season, and I only watch one show that comes out on Thursdays. So I'll talk about 3 shows tonight and only 1 tomorrow. So like, I gotta do something tomorrow to like I need something to do tomorrow afternoon. Right now, my day is wide open. And in fact, because I set up my streaming gear tonight, I'm going to leave it up. It'll be 90% up. I'm going to one of my lights I have to move because it's in the way of my bed. But other than that, I'm going to be set up for tomorrow, and I'll just work this way. So I have even less to do than I normally do on a Thursday. I have nothing planned for tomorrow. So I want to do something that I could talk about during the stream. And I hope you'll help me out with that. I hope you'll be able to help me out with that. I should have prepped this beforehand. That's easy enough. Poll button. But we're going to do a poll. I'm going to wait a little while, see if a few more folks want to join us so we get a few more folks in the stream for this poll. But you're going to help me decide what fast food I'm going to get tomorrow, and then I will talk about it on the stream. I'm going to go to a place that I have not been to in 2020 at least, and one of the 2 places I'm thinking about I haven't been to in a very long time. I got basically within the span of 10 minutes, I watched a video where someone was eating one of almost everything from KFC, and I heard a podcast where people were talking about Domino's and Domino's orders. And I was thinking, basically I went from, I haven't been to KFC in a long time, to, I haven't been to Domino's in a while. So I want to go to one of those 2. And maybe we'll throw a poll in, and you can vote in the chat and help me decide. I'd be fine with either. Now Domino's, I could do a carry out and get the 5 for, or the mix and match $5.99 thing, which is good because that way I can get a pizza and probably cheesy bread because the cheesy bread's real good. Probably get that and get like a small pizza or a medium pizza or whatever and a cheesy bread. It's probably what I'll do, like a 2-topping. Get myself that bacon and onion Domino's thin crust that I enjoy. And that way I'll also get marinara sauce with the cheesy bread that I can use with the pizza as well. Or I go to KFC. And I don't know what I would get at KFC. I mean, I know what I like at KFC. I do like that famous bowl. I think that bowl is wonderfully terrible in a way that I appreciate and enjoy. I can get behind that bowl. I could also see myself just getting a bucket of chicken and getting one of those good biscuits. The nice thing about the bucket is you do get so many different things, right? You get the mashed potatoes and the gravy. You get the corn. You get the chicken. Does that thing come with cheese? I don't remember if it comes with cheese, but even if it doesn't, that's fine. You get a bunch of different things with that, and I'm partial to the Nashville hot tenders. The biscuit are probably one of the best things at KFC. Lord Cratchton, no doubt. In my opinion, when you're talking fast food biscuit, it's Bojangles and then KFC, and then I don't know else who sells biscuits. Mashed potatoes and gravy. That's what I'm saying, Ultron. Also, KFC wedge fries, the seasoned wedge fries, those are very good. But I would have to eat in that KFC because cold chicken's not a KFC cold chicken, not a problem. The bowl, you can throw that in the microwave, no problem. But I do think that the wedges are not good cold. Saw an ad earlier and kind of wanted to go to chicken place just for some biscuits. Jeff Cobb got signed to AEW. Lashbrook says, and he said, that's awesome. I'm going to remember myself a little bit. I know the name, and I'm gonna just quickly do a thank you Google for letting me know a little bit more about Jeff Cobb and what's up with Jeff Cobb. Oh yeah, that's right. Uh, Jeff Cobb, Cobbzilla. That's right. World Television Diff. That was a Ring of Honor and New Japan. It was the Neverweight champion. That's an openweight champion. That's right. The Never Openweight. All right. That's cool. Good for Jeff Cobb. That's a good acquisition. I have to pop out, but I would vote for Domino's since I don't really like KFC myself. Well, Aristophan, thanks for stopping in, and thank you for your vote. If and when I do the poll, I will remind myself to add a 1 to Domino's. Biscuits were good when I last went there a decade ago, I will say. Yes. I mean, I think I went sometime last year. It's been a while since I've been to KFC. But I would probably just get a bucket of chicken because it's good. Mashed potatoes and gravy. They're good too. Um, I have friends that like the coleslaw. I don't enjoy coleslaw at all. So, no thanks. But yeah, it's good biscuit. Okay, we're building a wing here. So, let's start with our wing piece. We need. This is a white. Okay. So, right away. Love wedges and JoJo's. Um, a thing that I do not like about modern Lego. Modern Lego is great. It's very detailed. I think the art is very helpful. And the turnover and move and hey, notice this piece and where it needs to go stuff they do. But sometimes their color correction is bad. For instance, now I know that's a white piece, but that looks gray. It doesn't look like the same kind of gray, but it looks off-white. It doesn't look like that white. Sometimes I feel like their color choices are bad. And sometimes with grays, particularly in Star Wars, like I know that I need a dark gray and a light gray piece here because I can see the contrast there. But isolated, I might not know which piece I need. And that is frustrating to me. It's consistently been a frustrating thing with Lego. I am excited to work on Lego. It's weird that we're starting today. Black and dark gray are hard to see. Yeah, Jam. One of the things that benefits a lot from doing Lego here on a stream is I have all these lights for the green screen. So the difference between this and this is much more pronounced under all these lights. But even if I take one light out, like it still looks good on camera. But if I take out my other light, which I have to get up to do, and so I'm not going to do it, these start really getting similar. And then when you add in their dark blue, their navy blue, then I start like having to be like, okay, this is what this is. So when I do my knolling, which you can kind of see some of my knolling here, I'll tilt it down so you can see more of it. I put my light grays far away from my dark grays. My light grays you can't even see; they're past the white, but they're over here. But I always put them just as far away as I can to minimize the amount of like possible contamination with color. I wonder when we'll get Lego instructions with AR interactions. Seems like it'd be handy. Ooh, well, I mean they have an app, right? I've never used the app stuff. I've never tried any of that. But I could see that. I could see that, like, some people doing, like, Lego. Like, there's already, knockoff Lego VR stuff. I don't know if there's anything official with VR. But I know that, people have done some stuff in painting apps and sculpting apps. People have done some cool stuff. But anyway, yeah, I will run a poll about what you'd like me to eat tomorrow. Like, which of the two fast foods. I will say, so I'm going to have to eat at the KFC, and that's a little inconvenient. That's Subway right away. Whereas I can do Domino's, I can do a carry-out, order online, walk to the place, and by the time I get there, just about, I'll be able to pick it up and walk out with that. I'm going to probably have to wait like a minute or two. But especially, like, it's just like, because the mix and match they want you to do online. They kind of hide it. You can find it online. It's not hard to find online, but so I'll put up a poll for that. But and then we'll include Arista fans to vote in as well. But yeah, I think like that's just something. One, I've kind of got a hankering, got a craving for something a little different, something I haven't had in a while. And two, I do like to do things a little differently here and there for y'all. Mix it up a little bit. And you're gonna order a Vinny. No jam. So my Domino's order will not be a nightmare. It will be food, and it will be an unnecessary amount of food, but it will not be a nightmare amount. My order will most likely be a medium thin crust with bacon and onion. If you haven't seen my Baering the List video, I explained that there, but I'll kind of give you the gist of it here of why that's my go-to combo, is that it has the onion and bacon mingled together, and the onion absorbs the bacon grease, and it's just really good. A good combo. So I'll get that. That's a medium 2 topping. And then I will get most likely cheesy bread. Sometimes I might get the chicken tenders or the chicken like fingers or whatever, but not always. And I feel like if I get the cheesy bread, it'll come with marinara sauce, like I said, and that appeals to me, and that is something that I like. All right, I put a piece on in the wrong spot, so we're going to use our brick separator. This kit did not come with a brick separator. Usually you have to go over 400 to 500 pieces, I believe. I don't know what the minimum is to have a brick separator included, but this was not. We did not hit that minimum for the brick separator to be included. So that did not come included, and we have to just do it on our own. This is a 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then a 9. So that'll be my order if we go with Domino's, and it's still a lot. It's still for dinner a medium, and then like a good sizable portion of bread. It's a lot of breading, but I like the cheesy bread, and I like I do like that pizza. I'm partial to the Alfredo pasta in a bread bowl. All right, Lord Stockton. I get that. Just add more carbs on my carbs. I hear you, Lord Stockton. I'm not opposed to that, certainly. It's not my style, but like I hear you and I get you. Sometimes you just want that. I think I want more breading than I want pasta. I have not been. I'll say this. I had lasagna around Christmas time, and have not craved pasta since. I don't think I've I've had pizza certainly, but I have not had a pasta noodle in a while. I've had ramen since, and I've had pho. Very good pho the other day, about a week ago. Yeah, I had some excellent soup. It was incredible. But yeah, I have not had like a Italian pasta dish in quite some time. I just don't crave it. All right, got that there. Again, so one of my big tips for Lego stuff is pull the pieces. Don't just go, oh, I see that there, do that there. Look at the objects they want you to use. So look at the Legos, pull them out, put them there, and then fill in the spot, so you're not skipping a step. That's how pieces get missing. This only has 3 bags, so we should end up with extras but not missing pieces or pieces we forgot to apply. Generally, if you do 1 bag at a time, it's easy to see because you're like, oh, this would make sense that they would have an extra of these. But some of these, you'd be like, they wouldn't have an extra of that. And as you do kits like this, you start to get a good sense of what they want as far as, or what they're used to giving as far as extra pieces go. So yes, we do that. All right, we want one of these and one of these. Nice and easy. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on with me. I talked about at the beginning of the stream. Talked a bit about Saturday. What Saturday's gonna be like. Yeah, so I'm building tonight because of Saturday, and I basically made the decision. Well, last year was really fun. Last year we did the Anime Awards as like a bonus stream, and I had a really good time with that. It was really fun to do a co-stream. We had a good amount of people in chat that, at the very least, even if they're not watching the shows that I watch, they are aware of what I like and have heard me talk about some of these shows. And you get to see some fun stuff. You get to see, some personalities you might know from the internet things and whatever. And it's a good time. They did a pretty good job with it last year. And then this year, Xavier Woods, a.k.a. Austin Creed, is hosting, and that rules. It's like co-hosting with Tim. Tim is awesome. So it's like, okay, hell yeah, let's do this thing. It's like, oh, I'm definitely going to co-stream again. That'll be neat. Well, they're not doing co-streaming. They listed a bunch of different ways you can watch. There's an official New York party sponsored by Anime NYC that I could go to if I wanted to party, it up and not be part of the, and not stream. But they're not doing co-streaming. So we're gonna do a watch along, which is I don't usually go for watch alongs. Some people do it all the time. There are some boys that talk about wrestling that I like. The Cultaholic crew, they're UK wrestle friends that really that cover wrestling, and they do a lot of watch alongs where you can watch them react to a thing, and you have to hear you can watch it and you're on your own because they can't legally show it. And that just hasn't ever super appealed to me. But at this point, I'm like, well, I wanna watch the Anime Awards. It's on when I stream, or be an hour of it will have happened when I would normally stream. So let's do it, and maybe we'll find out that it's fine and fun, and people are able to do it, or people are just gonna watch me react and just hear about things while while it's happening live. And just get there. I'll give the results as they come. But what I need to do is, and I should have some time tomorrow to do this, is if I'm going to co-stream, or not co-stream, if I'm going to do a watch-along, well, I need to, I'm going to figure out something to do to make it feel official. Not official. Official's not the right word. I want to, have some overlay stuff. I want to have the category and the nominations and go through the different category stuff. So I'm going to work on some title cards so I can spruce up the presentation a little bit for everybody. I think that would be cool. So I'll have some stuff ready to go for that to make it feel a little more like it's an event. That's one of my goals. Hey, so somebody renewed their subscription while we were streaming. If you'd like to, you can hit that button to let us know that you renewed, so we can say thank you on the stream. You obviously don't have to. Got a fly in the room. But if you'd like to do that, if you'd like to hit that button, tell people that you renewed. If you're using cash money or for whatever, please do so. So I can say thank you, and so I can play the soundboard. I got a little soundboard thing here. But yeah, please let me know if you renewed your subscription. And of course, thank you. Yeah, Ultron's throwing it in there anyway. Yeah, right. As always, this doesn't work without y'all. Look, would I build model kits if I did not have people watching on a stream? Yeah, I probably would. Would I build as many? Certainly not. I certainly would not build as many. Would I have tried stuff that was outside my comfort zone? No. So at the very least, there's no way that I would have completed 2 glue kits from Initial D without y'all like being interested and asking questions. And oh, Jam just redeemed 600 points to play the soundboard. So here's some sound effects. Thank you very much, Jam.
Yeehaw!
And of course, and all right. Thank you very much, Jam. But yeah, no, I don't know if I would have tried RE100 kits. I don't know if I would have tried real grades and and One Piece. I probably eventually would have gotten a One Piece kit just because like the idea of building a boat would have been fun, but I wasn't daunted by the amount of stickers that came with that kit like I would have in my normal build life because I didn't really do a lot of sticker work. So it has been a pleasure to continue to do this stuff, and just knowing that I'm maybe helping people out here and there. I did have somebody asking me some questions today about model kits, and that was awesome to be able to answer some of those questions, kind of talk through my experiences. It's always a pleasure. So, and like so, a lot of times there aren't Lego questions, right? I'm just kind of going here. I'm talking about this. We're doing we're in bag one. There's nothing really like exciting about what we're doing at the moment. But if you have questions about what I'm doing here about this Lego set, feel free to ask those questions. If you have questions about other kits, I will say the one thing I am generally not good at is talking about the kit that just got announced, or did you check out on Reddit how this person took these photos? They got this New Type magazine early or whatever. I don't even know if New Type is still a thing. I'm not good about that because I don't pay attention to Scuttlebutt. I usually end up hearing about it from the fine folks that pay attention to those things and then want to talk to me about it. And that's how I learn about it. So I can't always be a good person for that kind of conversation. Generally, the answer is, I haven't checked that out yet. Oh, now I'll look. Oh, that Death Scythe is gorgeous. I really hope that P Bandai picks it up for International. I mean, it just feels like it's free money, but whatever. Sometimes they don't. They don't pick up everything. They don't pick up every limited. So, makes it harder to get those things. All right, we got that there. We got that there. I've only gotten one comment so far. I'm expecting more from my Baering the List episode that went up today, where I ranked Pokemon starters. Caveat being, I did not include Pikachu or Eevee. I just went with the trio starters. I put together my ranking of those, ranked everything as it stood, categorized all of them. I don't think there are any big surprises for me personally. There were a couple Pokemon I haven't thought about in a long time because one of the things about starters is they rarely move generation to generation as just Pokemon in the wild. They do occasionally, but not that often. So sometimes starters from previous generations I just don't think about ever again, especially if they were not the one I picked, if they're the third. So not the one you picked and not the one your rival has that has a type advantage over you, the other one. So I don't always think about those. And that actually occurred to me after the stream, or I finished recording. That's probably why I don't have a lot of love for starters that are plant, that are grass type. Because I generally choose fire type starters, which means I spend a lot of time with my fire, and your rival generally has the water type. So that's the type you don't see that often. And that's possibly why I don't have particularly a lot of love for them. Also, I think most of them are bad. That's also why I'm not super keen on those particular Pokemon, because I think they're not as cool. I do think Trico's pretty rad. Trico's got a lot of tune, and I do like that. But I think most of them don't have a lot going on. And, I'm going to get some heat for it. I don't think Poplio is a good Pokemon. And I know there are a lot of Poplio defenders out there. And if you're a Poplio defender, I understand. And you defend your Pokemon, and you like the Pokemon you like. I know some people are like, Snivy is just shittier Trico. It's just shittier Trico. I always said, I think that Venusaur is the lamest of the like second evolutions in the first gen. 'Cause like, what? You're just a bigger Ivysaur. Like, Blastoise has guns. Blastoise has shoulder rockets. Charizard is a fucking dragon. I know he's not a dragon, but Charizard goes from being a shitty teen version of grown-up version of Charmander, and then Charizard is just like, what the fuck? That's just a. And Venusaur is just like, Ivysaur ate a lot. I'm kind of a thing. At least the turtle is a turtle. Totodile is pretty good. I agree, Ultron. I think Totodile is pretty great. I have a lot of love for a lot of water Pokemon. I generally don't like we're going to make this a shitty teen thing they do with starters sometimes. I do think that Preppy, I forget the name of our bird, but when our bird becomes a grass teen, like a prep, I kind of like that. And then it becomes a ghost. I don't know what the fuck happens there. Which one has the drum kit? I think Totodile's pretty good. He's a good dancing goof. I enjoy that. I get a lot of shit for people because 3 generations in a row, firefighting was a thing, even though Blaziken is clearly a bird. He's not fire flying, he's firefighting. But one, Blaziken didn't ask to be one of 3 fire fighters. I get that. And I also understand that one of them is fire dark and not a fighter. They added another, but like, I say this to you. You're telling me that there's a Pokemon out there that is a giant, big, wrestling Pokemon that is a big Catman Pokemon that has a belt, a wrestling belt made out of fire, and you're telling me that I'm not supposed to love that thing? So I know the least about this current gen. I do know that having fun outside and being part of summer camp Fire Bunny is fun. And I like the final evolution of Soccer Hooligan Bunny. That's rad. But why is he a ninja in the middle? Why is that middle evolution a ninja? Shouldn't that middle evolution be sports? Is it that he gave up sports to pursue the martial arts? Is he that kind of a teen? And then he got through his martial arts phase and then got into soccer again? Because it just seems like a non sequitur. It seems like he's trying to be. It's almost like Score Bunny was like, when I grow up, I want to be Greninja, a.k.a. the coolest water Pokemon. Because it's a ninja who's it's just, what am I saying? It's a ninja Pokemon. Greninja rules. It's like the best water type there is. It's the greatest water type. Of course. We all have a ninja phase. Yeah, I guess so. But I don't know if sporty kids have a ninja phase. Maybe they do. Maybe all kids do. I don't know. It feels like a weird sidestep I don't know. That's my opinion. But I do like this green. I'll say that. Yeah. So I gotta go through my reasoning. And it takes a while. That video took a little while to do. There's a lot of Pokemon, a lot of starters out there. Um. So parkour kids, yes. Ultron. Maybe that's what that evolution's supposed to be. Maybe it's not supposed to be a ninja. Maybe it's supposed to be like a parkour like thing. Maybe. But it definitely looks like it's trying to be a bunny ninja, which I am for. But then I think the final evolution, going back to being a sports kid, a sports bunny, feels weird. Um, if I was going to put Eevee and Pikachu in the starter conversation, Eevee is definitely top tier because Eevee can evolve into all kinds of cool shit. Like, there's just so many cool Pokemon Eevee can be. Leafeon gets no love because Jolteon is part of the trio, which feels weird. It always felt weird that they went with Jolteon instead of Leafeon. But Leafeon, I think, is a cool-looking Pokemon. It's cool Eevee. Cool evolution. So I think that's cool. But Pikachu, here's the thing. We've been conditioned to love Pikachu because Pikachu is the star of the anime. But Pikachu's stats are terrible. Pikachu is not a good Pokemon for Pokemon battles. Iron Tail, if you're playing that, if you know you're playing with that and you have Iron Tail, that's a good one. But most of Pikachu's moves are bad. So I don't. It makes it rough. It's like, I don't know. So I think I would probably put Pikachu in like B. Because it's just like, you know, it's not a great starter. It's a good Pokemon. It's just not a good starter Pokemon. Alright, so I'm putting my first decal on here. I'm putting a green decal on our green Lego. Gonna try to line it up right well. Already messing up. Luckily, you do get a lot of wiggle room. I am using my thing from my iFixit kit here, sponger, that'll help to smooth things out. Nope, that is just crooked. Alright, I actually think I'm going to try the other piece first, and then I'll put this other one on after that. Let's see if I can do the first piece. There. That might work out better. Alright, so we'll put that on. That looks pretty good. Oh, good. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't really rank Pikachu too high. It's like just not a good Pokemon to be a starter. Eevee is interesting. Like, obviously, having an Eevee as your starter is great because as you start to build out your party, you can see like what you'd like your Eevee to evolve into. Because you can start to look at like, well, even if I don't think that Jolteon is particularly my favorite of them, I could really use at this point like an electric type, or I'm going to go with Flareon, or there are no water types in this half of the map, so I better make this a water Pokemon unless I catch a bird that can use water attacks, which, you know, sometimes you can, and that works out great. So you're like, strategically, Eevee's pretty solid. Alright, I'm going to go with that. That looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. We did our first 2 decals of the stream. And we are done with bag 1. No extra pieces in this thing. We just have to put this on here, and we'll be ready for some knolling. It's time to knoll. We'll just attach that right here. Alright, look at that. We are on our way. We are building. We are making it happen. I'm going to put our guy right there. Snap is ready to go. So we will knoll back 2 and 3 at the same time. Because particularly because even if I'm done, if I don't finish this kit tonight, which I don't think I will tonight, I think it will go into tomorrow stream. I'm not going to be putting things away. I won't have to like redo it. It'll just be ready to go. So we'll do 2 bags at once. Bags 2 and 3. There were tiny bags inside of these bags, but I did remove those to make my life easier. And then we'll just shove that over there. I'll take care of that later. And now, now we're going to get ready for bags 2, but we have to null. So let's null. For those that have not watched a build stream of mine for Lego, what's her name? Connix. We got to be Lieutenant Connix is also going to be our other minifig, so we can build Lieutenant Connix. Nulling is just the process of, in this case, we're just matching colors. Now we might do something clever with like, we have 2 of these, and we'll just like stack them like this. That's something that I'll like do during the day tomorrow with whatever pieces we have left. But for right now, for this part of the nulling, it's just about putting the pieces in the same color together to make life easier for us. And then we'll end up with some pieces that like don't have a lot of the colors, and I kind of sometimes put a lot of those together. So like, I don't think I'm going to have a lot of this color, so I can put them next to another one I don't have a lot of color of. And then I'm like, well, where's my blues? My blues are with a bunch of other weird colors. Easy enough to find. And then, sometimes you might be like, oh, I don't think I have, or, oh, I have a lot of extra stuff over here. That's because we did 2 bags at once. But it means that we don't have to stop the action in between, and that is generally helpful. So it's a black there. We got some dark gray. We have to break up dark gray and light gray, so we're going to make sure we do that with some green. That will help us out by breaking up that color. There's a slight, this is not pure flat surface here, so I am contending with that, and I have to be a little careful with that about some pieces rolling towards the middle, because this is a folding table. This line right here is the fold. While I almost never fold up this table, it still does tend to dip a little bit, and there's unfortunately no way to really fix that from like propping it up. Isn't going to do it. It just naturally has a bit of a dip, which is frustrating. I have looked into them, like, is there a way for me to fix that? There's not, as far as I can tell. That would be nice, but unfortunately not the case. Alright, so black, green, gray, dark gray. The usual colors, black, dark gray, gray. There's a little bit of blue here, but we won't really see it because it's connector pieces. But then we don't have any dark blue in this kit. We do have a lot of forest green. That's a very good green. But yeah, we're just kind of nulling and making sure that we're going to be able to find our pieces easy enough when the time comes. We can be a little bit delicate. If I was doing this like bag A, bag 1, I should say, I did before the stream started, and I was able to take my time with it and be a little, and be, patient with it. This one is going to be a little quick, a little dirty, just to get it done, just to get there. And of course, we will take a pause for the calls in a moment or two, and give y'all a chance to know about ways to support the stream if that's something you want to do, which you're under no obligation to do, but you can if you'd like to, and that would be great. I'm also, here's the thing, I'm getting a little like, oh, push this there, push that there. I have to be careful that I'm not like bouncing pieces, that I'm shuffling them where they need to be, that they don't fall, because then I have to find them, and it's like, oh, well, there's so many pieces I can get away with an hour of it not being there, and I'll find it after, but that could just compound, and suddenly you're like borrowing from the future, or you're like stuck in a spot because you can't find that Lego piece. It's a whole fucking thing. I try my best not to drop Lego pieces, because here's the thing. As you know, we all know this. If I drop a Lego piece, it's not like it's just going to thud right there. It's going to bounce. If I had carpet, maybe, but then of course you're dealing with carpet. But like this hardwood floor that I've got going on here, it's just gonna bounce somewhere. It's gonna land at an angle and bounce, and I'm never gonna fucking find it. And then I'm gonna figure out what piece fell, and then I'm gonna have to like go through my big box of pieces and see if I can dig up something that'll work for it. It's a whole thing. Harold is hosting the stream. Harold, thank you very much for hosting. Welcome, my friend. Happy to have you here. Let's give you old thanks for the hosting. And welcome. I've been streaming for about an hour now, a little less than that. Working on our Lego. This is the progress we've made. So we're getting some work done on our A-wing. And yeah, we'll just keep going with it. We're knolling our bags 2 and 3. I could have done 1 and 2 when we started, but I did just start with 1. And yeah, we're just gonna go along and do what we gotta do. Put some stuff together. Just doing some knolling. And yeah, we'll take a pause to call in a minute. We will put up that poll so folks can decide for me about where I will have dinner tomorrow, and then talk about it on tomorrow night's normal Thursday night stream. We'll put it up there. And people will decide if I'm going to Domino's or KFC tomorrow. I would like to go to either, but I do want to go to one, and then I'll be able to talk about it on the stream. Silver Streak says, I can finally catch a Pat stream. Welcome, Silver Streak. Happy to have you here. Yeah, we're doing a Wednesday night stream. You normally play games on Wednesday and not builds, but on Saturday I am going to be doing a watch-along for the Anime Awards this Saturday night instead of my normal building, and I wanted to get my 6 hours of building in this week. So here I am on a Wednesday doing a Lego build. It's our first Lego build of the year. I'm very excited about that. This kit has already been really fun to put together. Can't stay long. My stream ran late. Harold, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you hosting. I know that this is late for you on a Wednesday. But yeah, thanks for coming in to the stream. Silver Streak just subscribed tier 1. That's 4 months. I don't know. The Anime Awards was a thing. That totally makes sense. Yes. So let's hit the applause. Ultron already threw the emotes in there. Yes, and they're still doing the gift thing for Valentine's Day. So thank you very much for subscribing, Silver Streak. And yes, Silver Streak. Crunchyroll has been doing it. This is, I believe, the 3rd or 4th year. And the thing that I appreciate about it is, obviously, Crunchyroll puts it on, but they do categorize other things. Anime that they don't show. Stuff that's like, there might be a show that's exclusive to Amazon Prime or, Netflix, like Devilman Crybaby won a bunch of awards last year. It's totally possible for shows that are not, like Made in Abyss was nominated for a bunch of stuff, and won some things. It's totally possible to have things that are not on Crunchyroll, and I can appreciate that. Certainly they, try to, I'm sure, get make sure that some of their stuff is in there because they're the ones running it. But yeah, last year I co-streamed the awards and I had a lot of fun with it. So this year I'm going to be doing a watch-along, which is not my preferred method, but it is what we're going to do. Unless they're willing to recognize content not on their platform. Yeah, and sometimes also it's because, who knows if, they're probably never going to have a Funimation deal again, but they can end up with a deal with another company. They can end up licenses change hands. So it's obviously it's also beneficial. If there's a show that's pushing the needle for anime, I believe that Evangelion wasn't eligible for anything except for dub, or for voice actor English, because it's a new dub. So, that's a Netflix show. But that definitely got people talking about fucking anime in 2019. Obviously, a lot of people talk about anime, but that's a show that got people talking. So it makes sense to be able to it doesn't make sense to pretend like it doesn't exist. So we'll see. But who knows? In the coming years, that shows that Netflix license, they could decide, well, we could make some money licensing it on other platforms. I don't necessarily think they're going to do that, but they might. Or Amazon might be like, we're going to give up our rights to broadcast these shows. We don't want them anymore. We don't keep paying for them. So, other companies can bid on these shows. And then we can have like Love is Hard for Taku could show up on Crunchyroll or something like that. You never know. But yeah, all right. So we did Knowling. We're going to do a pause for the cause, but let's start with our poll. We're going to do a new poll. All know about Evangelion, all in from loading running around. Never actually seen it. Well, there you go. What I'm going to make my life a lot easier and just be like, what to eat? So, you are going to vote between Domino's, pizza and probably some other thing, or chicken, because I'll go to KFC, KFC. Let's just do that. Chicken. Then I'm going to go to KFC, maybe, or am I going to go to Domino's? And then I don't know what I'm going to get there. So, no. I'm not allowing votes with VITs. Subscriber votes don't count twice. Duration. Domino's has been real good since they redid the recipe. Okay, we got 3 minutes, longest possible. Now. So, the poll is happening. You can vote there. I don't know if voting works for mobile, but since there's a bunch of you here, I figured I would start and let people vote and get their voice heard. And you can click. Tomorrow I will go to one of these two places where I will eat food, and then I will come back on my stream tomorrow night and talk about it, because that way I'll have something to talk about. We're also going to do a pause for the cause in a moment, where I talk about ways that you can support the stream if that's something you want to do. You are under no obligation to do anything other than watch. And you're also obviously not obligated to watch. But if you don't want to do anything but watch, you don't have to. It's just a way to support the stream if that's something you'd like to do. But we're going to let this vote tally up here. 3 minutes could be a long time, but it's not that long. Let me go and check my check a message because I got an email. And I don't want that. Oh yeah, I guess we could talk about activations a little bit. People really hate that. See the results so far. Right now, people. Okay, it is neck and neck, waiting for the results to come in. We're going to give it the full benefit of time here. And then, of course, we will, as I said, do the pause for the cause. And let's talk about ways you can support the stream if you're so inclined. And then we'll get back into the Lego assembly. Tomorrow's Lego, if you missed me talking about it tomorrow night, we will pause this kit wherever we are in the process of doing the kit. We will pause it, and we will build a cool Lego set in honor of Valentine's Day, because it will be the night before Valentine's Day, a.k.a. Galentine's Day, where you take your gal pals out. I will drink that KFC gravy pet. I will say that you can get chicken on pizza. Silver Streak, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But my Domino's order is bacon and onion thin crust, medium, and then I will get cheesy bread. Most likely that will be the cheesy bread. I think that's gonna be my order. That'll be like the two for $6 each deal or whatever, and I'll get the carry-out deal and go that route. And then my KFC order, I'm not sure. I honestly don't know what I'm going to get, because I like the bowl. I think the bowl is great, and you get just about a little bit of everything. I do think the wedges are good. I think the mashed potatoes and gravy are great. The bowl is good because I could pick it up while I'm out doing stuff and bring it back to my apartment and then reheat it. Whereas the bucket you kind of have to get, and I don't really want to eat at the restaurant. But we're going with pizza and, oh no, judging your pizza pretty much regardless of what you get on it. KFC bowl is great too. Because also we have to include Aristofan, who had the leaves vote, and Aristofan also voted for pizza and. So Silver Streak, no, I wasn't. I wasn't saying you were judging. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna go to Domino's tomorrow and carry out, and I'll talk about it on the stream, which makes me feel like I'm not gonna eat it on stream. I'm not a mukbanger. Uh, I don't do that. That's not my style. So we won't eat on stream. If you want to see me and food on the same stream, well, you gotta wait for PAX East. That's right. Ultron. Um, the Good night, Harold. Have a good one. Mukbang is a thing. It is it's a cultural thing that we uh, it's already gross and then we made it grosser, but basically there is a cottage industry of YouTube videos and live streams of people eating food. Generally it is too much of that food. Often it is foods that people can't wouldn't be able to get themselves. So it's a little bit of like, oh, you're gonna eat the best dumplings in this area. Oh, I don't live where you live. I can't get those dumplings. But often it is to excess, and then we have some of those in America. But it's a mukbang, and I don't do that. Um, it is indeed food porn, Ultron. But it might be like, we ate 500 dumplings, and you're like, that's too many dumplings, all of you. Uh, but I am going to be in PAX East Thursday night. It'll be live streamed on PAX 3, I believe. I'm going to be in the Easy Bake Challenge. That's right. I'm going to be doing Harris invited me to compete in a Easy Bake Oven Challenge where they give you all the ingredients, but they don't give you any way to measure, and they don't give you instructions, and you have to use an Easy Bake Oven, and then they stop you from cooking and working on things in order to compete in video games, and then you win something. I can't remember what you win. I'm confident that I can, by looking at the ingredients and reading the package of that doesn't tell you how to do it, but tells you what the thing is that you're baking, I can estimate time in an Easy Bake Oven and probably ingredients, because the one thing I remember of Easy Bake Ovens and those kind of packaging things in general is they tell you to use water and it never feels like it's enough water, and that's because you have to knead it a lot to get the powder to turn into something. So I think I can nail that. What's going to end up being a problem is I don't know if they're going to let me preheat, and they're not going to give me enough time to cook it. So that's going to be a problem. But I think I can nail other elements of it better than other people. The actual, real worst part of me doing a baking competition show is they don't want me to swear. And that's going to be a fucking problem. That's going to be a real problem, me not swearing on a live stream. My hope is that while they're playing the games, there's a swear jar, and so indie devs are going to give away codes, if they swear, and apparently, Harris is going to spot me some codes, as I am not a game developer, and have no access to codes. Apparently, they're going to spot me, which is generous. But it's supposed to be a family-friendly show. I'm just going to make sure that I think when I'm being interviewed, I'll be okay. But when they bring people to play the games, I'm going to be terrible at those games because I'm not going to know what we're playing, and I will probably have played the least of these indie competitive games because I don't play a lot of couch co-op, or couch competitive, I should say. I don't play a lot of those games these days. So, and I'm also not good at some of the ones that I have played. So I'm a little worried. As someone who grew up in the Bronx, then moved to Kansas, I have spent multiple years adjusting my casual swearing. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't, people tell me it's like, oh, you swore a lot in that video. You're going to get demonetized. It's not going to, the algorithm's not going to, promote it. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. It's like, whatever. I'm all right with that, generally. All right. So, hey, if you're currently a subscriber, let's take a pause for the cause, then we'll get back to building. We got delayed there with a few other things. If you're currently a subscriber, throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in there. Let the people know. Using your Twitch Prime coin, because you link your Amazon with your Twitch, is a great way to support the channel. You can also support the stream by using Cash Money and becoming a subscriber. You get cool emotes. The numbers go up. I play a little song thing in there. If you're a subscriber at the end of a month, Google will find other ways to screw you. Indeed. Totally. If you're a subscriber at the end of the month, you're entered in as a subscriber to win a model kit or a Lego set. Silver Streak just gifted one tier 1 sub to Broken Quest. Thank you so much for that, Silver Streak. I appreciate that. Welcome to the top of the leaderboard for gifting. Let's give the old applause. That's rad of you, Broken Quest. Enjoy your month. That does make you eligible to win a model kit or a Lego set, whatever I'm giving away at the end of the month. I haven't looked at that in a while, so I don't know. I also have a Patreon. You could join my Patreon if you're interested in doing that. Patreon's another way to support the stream. We do 6 hours of building a week because I hit $150 on Patreon. We are dangerously close to going under $150, and I don't want to give up the 3 streams a week of building. I'm gonna figure it out when the time comes. I will figure out what that means because we are at $150, and I'm like, oh no! If anyone decides they don't want to do this anymore on Patreon, I'm gonna have to make a decision. It mostly means that I'll just be asking people to join my Patreon more. It's fine. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to do Patreon. You don't have to donate here. In the links I'm putting this on the show description, on the YouTube video of this archive, you could click these links as well. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. But anything I make through Patreon, through Twitch, through donations, goes to buying kits or equipment. And I appreciate if you could donate. It would be rad. And you are under no obligation to do so. But if you want to, I love it. And it would be cool. You could buy something off my wish list. I have a kit coming in off my wish list. I believe another one coming soon. It's coming from Japan, so that's taking a little while. But let's look at the wish list real quick, and then we'll get back to building. We got that Pokemon. We got Pokapla there. We got some high grades that I could build. We've got some fantastic master grades up there. We got that master grade one. The Gundam Zaku Warrior is the price dropped. It's now $40. I mean, $40 is a lot. Don't get me wrong, but that's a good deal for a great looking kit. Some various other things which you could purchase, and then I would build on the stream, and yeah, that would be cool. You could do that if you wanted to. I also have another option for folks if you would prefer to buy something off. I gotta look this up. I have a USA Gundam store. You could buy a gift card there, and then you'd send me the code, and I would buy something there. That's another way to do it. We will get back to building in just a moment or two. I'm just going to quickly go through. I have a Discord. Join my Discord. It's cool. It's pleasant. It's nice. I post updates and stuff I'm working on. People post things they're working on. It is generally pretty fucking chill. We'll go through a couple things real fast. Water. It might be good to have some water. Maybe you want to have some water. I'm going to drink a little water right now. That also stretch, do whatever you got to do. One thing that I wanted to point out is that I made a video that went up on Monday for Pat Bear's Anime Club where I talk about some great episodes of anime that are about Valentine's Day. Not all of them are romantic comedies or romantic dramas. Only one of them is very sad. A lot of them are sweet or just downright fun. I particularly would recommend Achikochi, Place to Place, which has a lovely... It's the second episode, so you're still kind of getting a sense of who the characters are. That's a fantastic Valentine's Day themed episode because you're starting to get a sense of who the people are. And that's just a fun show. It's a fun little... cool little anime. So I put that up, and that's timely. So watch it before Valentine's Day if you want to get a sense of some stuff you could watch. Sorry, burping. That's rude. Baering the List, I mentioned this Pokemon list that I put up today. Baering the List definitely is worth your time. The Pokemon starters, this one is contentious and heated. I'm sure some people will be very mad because I don't love Popplio, or because I think that Sobble is Sobble is a great idea, but Sobble's evolutions don't lead any credit. It should have gotten more and more sad and weird instead of like just different teen stuff. I don't know. But yeah, I put my opinions down, talk about my favorites, and that I think I did a pretty good job with it. But yeah, you can watch that those videos. They're in the show description here, and we'll get back to building in just a moment. We'll continue on to Bag 2, and we'll talk about some anime. Black Clover. We got a little more wrap-up stuff. We got a little bit more. We found out what the fuck. Apparently, the Wizard King, all this time, had been stealing some of his own life force, some of his time and his magic, had stored it in a device so that he could one day use it. And so he's back from the dead because he had stolen time. So he's now a teen and doesn't have a lot of magic because he's a teen. And it's weird. It's weird. This is a weird thing. I don't love that. But also, there's a trial. Because the Clover Kingdom is like, hey, what the fuck are, oh, this just fell apart here. I went to push this stuff together, and a bunch of things fell apart, and now I have to fix them, and that's weird. So let's do that real quick. The Clover Kingdom is like, hey, how come all of our wizards just tried to, our big cool knights, tried to kill everyone? What the fuck just happened? Let's find out some answers, and who can we blame this on? Who can we pin this on? And they're going to pin it on Asta. They have decided that Asta is a demon, which is partially true. He does have demon powers. He's quote-unquote borrowing, but really stealing demon abilities. So technically, it's true. Asta is a demon. Demon powers, which he should not really have. So that's not good. People are gonna... It's bad. Also because Julius, the Wizard King, was using his influence to kind of keep some people at bay, which now he can't keep them at bay, and so that could cause some problems. And Nero, who we knew as Nero, we knew Nero as the bird. Well, the curse from using forbidden magic, combined with her sealing powers, she's still kind of part demon now. So, like, I guess, technically she should get murdered, I guess. It's mainly because, one of the other things we found out about Black Clover is we knew they're in the Clover Kingdom, and we knew that. And we also knew there was a Diamond Kingdom. But apparently, because of course there's also the Spade and Heart Kingdom. And nobody knows anything about the Heart Kingdom. They've isolated themselves. And the Spade Kingdom apparently uses demons, which is why people are like, obviously they're demons, but in general they're also freaked out because of that. So we've been dealing with the Diamond Kingdom for a while. They were dealing with that, and now they believe that the Spade Kingdom is going to try to attack the Clover Kingdom while they're weak, which is bad news. So who knows exactly what's going to happen there, but it doesn't seem good. And I don't know how Asta is going to get out of this one. I mean, he will, because he's the main character of the show. One would assume that the main character of this anime is not about to be murdered or put to death for being And they're just going to be like, yep, and that was the end of the main character of this anime. Because this is not Yu Yu Hakusho, and this is not the first episode. So I expect something to happen. But I don't know what. So that's Black Clover. You know, they did. I thought we might get a silly episode, something light. We did not. There was no light episode. I was like, oh, maybe they'll like do something a little fun because it's been rough. You know, they just finished a big arc. Nope. No rest. No silly episode. No light one. Just right into more action. So, hey, I'm not complaining. I am slightly complaining. Transition. Orphen is boring. Sorcerous Stabber Orphen is boring. And I think it is like I would have to investigate the original series, but my thinking is that they're just doing they're doing a very faithful with modern animation recreation of the old show, which is fucking old, y'all. The Orphen video game came out for the PlayStation 2. It's an old series, and it feels old now. The same voice actor is doing Orphen that did in the first version, which is cool. It's all new voice cast besides that. But the more I watch it, the more I think if this was a different time of year and there was more anime, I would have already dropped Orphen. But we are in a boring tar. That was a launch game too. I don't know, Ultron. I cannot tell you that. But this show is like 20 years old. I believe that it originally was going to come out last year. In 2019, it got pushed, so it's a 20-year-old anime. So I believe that it originally came out in 99 or maybe even 98. It's an old anime. And it feels old. I think the animation looks modern, certainly, but like it just feels like August. Okay, so the game came out August 3rd, 2000. Yeah, that makes sense because that means the anime was out for a bit before the video game came out, which makes sense because I don't know why you would put out. Generally, they don't make video games based on manga, but they do make it about anime. Sometimes they do if it's really popular. But it's got to be a very popular manga. And then that begs the question, if it's a very popular manga, why isn't there an anime of it? Because they want to make money with their manga. So yeah, it's just not great. And it's only because I have a lot of other stuff to watch that I haven't dropped it. Or I don't have a lot of other stuff to watch that I haven't dropped it. Like, if I happen to get busy on it was indeed a launch title for US and Europe. Okay, there you go, Ultron. Well, thank you for that information. So it was an early PlayStation 2 game. Yeah, the video game is old. The anime is old. This remake is good, but it's not great. And I wish it was great. Because like I said, it does stuff that I think is fun of like, hello, Mr. Bob, welcome. Yes, indeed, Mr. Bob. We do have Snap. Snap's right here. We built Snap first thing. Indeed. We got to put another decal on just in time for our next decal, which is there's a lot of decals for this kit. But yeah. So yeah, Orphen is just meh. And then we had BOFURI. And BOFURI was a light episode on action. There was a little bit of action in this episode, but not a lot. But the gang's all here, y'all. It's guild time. They got themselves a house built out of a giant tree stump. So they got a tree house, which they named the guild Maple Tree. We got to become JJ friends, so we can be big and figs indeed. Um, so they built a oh yeah, so they bought a house, and then the person that likes puzzles joined in. The samurai girl that wanted to fight them and then was like, actually, I don't think I want to fight y'all, who did very well in the ranking. She came in like sixth in a battle thing. She joined the guild. Uh, the crafts maker, the blacksmith, joined. The dude who was really nice to Maple in the beginning, who is also the shield class, then like told her a bunch of stuff about doing that thing, joined, and then they recruited for the guild the two girls that we saw early on, who apparently maxed strength but didn't learn any other skills, and it's hard to level up when you can't really move around too much. Those are the two girls that in the opening, we haven't seen this in the anime yet, but in the opening, their weapons are two giant hammers. They're hammer sisters, because they're sisters apparently in real life, or at least they claim that. And it was just a cute, fun episode. We got a little action. We got to see some characters interacting with one another, which was kind of cool. And there's one thing I really liked about this episode is, so the dude, we've been seeing text messages that apparently were the guy whose name I can't remember, because he's just a guy. He's the guy in the guild. But he was like, I don't want to just be a shitty version of Maple, who's our main girl, so I'm going to try really hard. Like, he's like, oh, I'm going to try to change up my style because I'm not weird, and everyone in this guild fights weird. Also, they named the guild Maple Tree, because they live in a tree house, and Maple is the name of the guild leader. They made Maple the guild leader. And it's just, I can really appreciate that because it's a VR game, and it's not Sword Art Online, in which case people are trapped there, the way that they are approaching this show, as far as stakes, is just, Maple even says it's okay if there's, it's okay if you're not great, as long as it's fun, as long as you're fun. Like, that's what she's looking for. She's like, we want to have more people for the next guild event, but like, I don't care if they're not like the most skilled people. Like, Maple doesn't want to do have a guild member who sucks. She's like an asshole. Like, if anybody's like mean or like does a lot of player kills and like is a jerk, Maple's not going to be interested in that. There's also a very fun thing where Maple had to take time off from the game because she was doing that thing where real life, like, the game was bleeding into real life, and she was like going to tank a hit from a ball, and then she just got hit with that ball in gym, and she's like, I think I might be too. The VR might be too real for me, which I thought was a good touch. But yeah, there's generally just some touches to it that I really like. It's an action show, but it is very much in the slice of life mold of action shows, and I am here for it. The only thing it needs is mechs, because believe me, the introduction of a mech in Infinite Dendrogram, which I'll watch about tomorrow, really helped me be interested in Infinite Dendrogram, because otherwise I probably would pass on it because it's just so mediocre. But then they introduced mechs, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm into you because you're giving me a mech. But yeah, that show is just fine. It's perfectly fine, and maybe a little not great. Maybe it's not great. Maybe it's just not great. But yeah, BOFURI, I recommend. If you're looking for a slice of life that is a little bit more going on, it is in the same way that while there hasn't been like real moments, which we did have real moments in Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life, which was an isekai that was more of a slice of life isekai than anything else, really, even though it was an action fantasy show. It was more goofy and silly and very enjoyable because of it. This is, has action, but it also has a giant turtle named Maple that can fly because she casts floating magic on it, and now that's how Maple gets around because Maple doesn't have any agility. Put all her points in vitality and doesn't have agility points, so she rides around on a giant turtle that can fly, which is not supposed to happen in the game. And I love that. Yeah, it's just a silly, fun show. And I think it's worth your time. Alright, so we got that there, we got that there. Put this one here. Got another decal to put on the other side. Coming along. Putting this thing together. Working on it. So one thing I could talk about, and first and foremost, hi people that are here. That are checking out the Lego build. We got a good viewership. I normally don't stream on a Wednesday night. I'm doing that because on Saturday I am doing a watch along of the Anime Awards, which normally I stream on Saturday nights. Do a build stream then. I'm not doing that this Saturday because of the Anime Awards. So I'm doing a Wednesday night stream, but I'll also be streaming again tomorrow, and we'll celebrate Valentine's Day with a fun kit. I showed this off earlier. I got this little bee Valentine with a little heart. We're going to build that tomorrow, and then we'll come back to this Lego kit once that's done. But yeah, welcome people that haven't been in a little while. If you would like, you can give me a follow and then turn your notifications on so you know when I go live. That would be great. Of course, it did drop. The number dropped a little bit there as soon as I acknowledge people watching, which is fine. It's okay. But yeah, here's the thing. I understand why people don't like the term activation. They hear the term activation and they just think like, oh, that's just marketing speak. That's just what marketing people say to one another. And I say, yeah, that is what marketing people say to one another. But it's just a technical term. And it doesn't sound great, but I need you to know that if you go to a booth, an activation might not be, they might not call a demo an activation. But if there's a photo booth, if there's a chance for taking some photos, if there's an activity, if there's a thing where you sign up to win something, if there's like a prize thing, if there's a giveaway, all of those things are called activations by marketing people, but also by people that run booths at conventions or at stores. Like things like I can remember I was in a Sears when I was a little kid, and there was an NES and a TV and Legend of Zelda in a Sears, and I played Zelda. That was an activation. It was a long time ago, but because it's a term that we've only heard in terrible marketing PowerPoint decks that come out, it takes on a bad connotation because it feels like, oh, that is a term for a thing that you are putting in my face because you want me to buy a thing, which is true. That is what it is. So I understand why people don't love the term activation. And also there are activations don't have to be you got your hands on a thing, right? Sometimes activations are. I talked about the booth that Crunchyroll had at Anime NYC that I worked at. My booth, my active part of the booth, my activation was the giveaway. We gave away bags, and then we gave away, there's some posters, and there's some cards, and there were like, oh, get a free month of Crunchyroll with this card, enter this code. That was an activation. There was another activation where they had a Shield Hero setup, right? Because Rising the Shield Hero was still a show. They had a setup for that where you were given a cardboard shield, and you had to pop these balloons because there are balloons that are like pumpkins from the show, and so you pop the balloons, and depending on how well you did, like in the time, people cheered and whatever. It's like the deli at the grocery store giving out free samples. Yeah, free samples are an activation. So the Shield Hero activation also counted views. So people would, because they did it on the edge of it, people would stop and watch it because it drew attention. So they also kind of kept track of that. The best activation at PAX is Jackbox, because Jackbox they're not a booth on the show floor. They're near the food carts or the food stands, or they're near queue lines at South. They're in between two queue areas where people waiting to see panels. At East, they are in the area where the juice is, and there's a lot of chairs. People just naturally hang out on the second floor. Silver Streaks has got to run for the night. Have a good one. Silver Streak, thanks for just stopping in. Happy you were able to see a little bit of the stream. Thanks, of course, for gifting that sub and all that. But yeah, so Jackbox, that's an activation, right? It is a thing that you're doing while you're waiting for another thing, and it is interactive, and it's a cool thing that you're happy happened, right? And that's the thing that I think that a lot of people they think of activations as, oh, that's when people scream into a microphone and want you to cheer and then throw a t-shirt. It's like, that is an activation. But also, Kerbal Space Pro, the Kerbal folks might not have a booth, but they do have a thing where they have a big moon and a Kerbal, and you can take a photo in front of it, and they'll take your photo, and they want you to use hashtag, and they're hoping you use that hashtag. That's an activation. And I do think that, hey, now we use microtransaction as a piece of information, right? That is a descriptor of a thing that we all know, and we have opinions on, we have feelings about, certainly, we good or bad, but we think about Kerbal wouldn't make a good demo. Yeah, Mr. Bob, handing someone a keyboard and a mouse and going, have fun with Kerbal, that's not going to work great. But walking into through the doors of a fake rocket ship and seeing a bunch of gameplay footage and seeing the fails, and I know Kerbal's booth often has video of people testing the thing they built and reacting. They have a lot of streamer reacts, and you can kind of get a sense of what it is. That's a great activation for them. But yeah, microtransaction, right? We didn't love that term, but it's a great descriptor of what it is. And I think we're okay with that. Fans and not seeing a big ass curveball, and it's great. Yeah. Have a Kerbal Let's Player show off cool maneuvers. Yeah. So that's an interesting thing that's going to sell it, right? Because there are booths at conventions that aren't, they don't have a working demo. They have a proof of concept. They have art. I remember I didn't wait in line for this, right? But there was Black Flag didn't have a booth, or they had a booth, but they didn't have a demo. This was Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I was with somebody and able to cut the line and go in and watch, but they built a thing, and they had a stage show, and they had a person they didn't have a stage, they had a presentation. So we're talking about it. And to me, that all of the bells and whistles didn't justify the cost. But I'm not a marketing person, so I can't tell you if this was a successful activation or not. I felt, in my opinion, that it was a waste of my time. And I'm glad that I hadn't waited in line to see it, because it would have felt like a very much a waste of time if I had waited hours to watch gameplay footage. What sucks is most people only see the worst of the industry. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's totally fair, Mr. Bob. I think that and that's what I'm saying. Like when people think of activations, they don't think of, oh, I'm waiting in a line, and oh, right over there is a projector and some audio and like uh they're like, oh, and then they're playing Jackbox, and people don't associate like, oh, that's cool, and I'm happy they're doing that. They don't think of that as like, they think of that as like, oh, they might even think, oh, that's very smart, or they might think that's very nice, which is both those things can be true. It is smart and nice, but it's also incredibly like good for the Jackbox folks to have like a captive audience who is grateful to be entertained. Um, and not everyone wants activations. Some people want trailers. They want demos. Again, most people probably suck at Creed, but yeah, SS Creed, those Amajin moments. Yeah. Um, but you won't see it this year. You'll still see um, companies do this. But there was a year where PUBG was not at PAX, but you could play PUBG at like 6 booths because companies that are, we make graphics cards, we make accessories, we make we make surround sound, whatever. The game they wanted to attract people to their booth was PUBG because it was the hot game. Fortnite is that hot game. Uh, oh, please come to. We make custom cases for computer cases. Come play PUBG here. That's a really good activation because it draws people in and lets people play things. I remember the first time I played BioShock wasn't at was at like a it was a liquid cooler, like they did custom cooling booth, like a very small booth, but they had BioShock and it had been out for a little bit, but I hadn't played it, so I got to play BioShock for some company who I don't remember, so that's bad. But I remember like being like, oh, this is cool. I get to check this game out that I've heard a lot about. Um, that was a weird year. They could have owned the show floor. Yeah, but like they weren't there. Discord brought in uh, Player Unknown 1 year for PAX West. They like brought him in. He was like a guest of Discord. Because also they didn't really need to, because people were just playing his game at a bunch of different places. Ooh, there we go. So that goes on there. Neat. That's clipped on nice and easy. It's fun. All right, we have almost done with bag 2. Getting into bag 3 as we kind of keep going there. But yeah, to me, it's not it's not the best word, and it does, in some instances, sound. Wait. I missed a step, y'all. I did miss a step. I gotta go back. Did miss a step. Yep. Yep, I did. So underneath, because this was not level and it should have been. So there's 2 pieces that have to go on top of this. So I did, indeed, miss a step. So now we got to go back and fix what I missed right now. But we caught it because I was like, this doesn't seem level, and it should be level, but it wasn't level, which means that I had goofed up. So we'll do that there. But yeah, I mean, like people like give it a bad name because it sounds shady, and obviously some of them are. Like I said, I don't want people yelling. I don't want people like saying like make some noise and win this shirt. Like I don't want to deal with that stuff. I don't like that noise. I don't like those kind of activations. But the cool ones, that we don't think about the cool ones because they were cool. which makes sense. Uh, we don't think about how like rock band shows well because you are the booth. You playing instruments or like Let's Dance. Let's Dance just needs to exist. And the people who are there at the show become the people that sell it. Because you want to Let's Dance, you want to dance on that stage and do some Let's Dance, and maybe they've got somebody there to like, because there's a little kid, so they'll go and do it with him, or it's a new version, so we'll teach you some new dances or whatever. But like you being there, you being the people that work there, like or the audience members, allow for it to just exist, and justifies it being there in the space that they paid for. And suddenly, like, you're a hot activation because somebody hears a song they really like and looks over and there's a bunch of people dancing to the song they like and they're like, wait, what? So we get conics here. Got our second minifig done, nice and easy. But yeah, I think like they're only bad if they're bad, and some of them like aren't. Some of them are just like good uses of the space and creative and interesting, and I'm here for it. Like, I don't know. I don't think that they don't have to be. Activation doesn't have to be a bad word, but I do, like as I said, I do understand why some people don't like the term, and I get it. But I think like just another way of drawing people there. You gotta get people to come out to look at your thing, otherwise you don't get to go back the next year. The reason why we had a bunch of shows with Eric Pope was because he was able to justify why doing a panel at PAX was good for Honor. That the dedicated For Honor fans that went to PAX, one of the reasons why they were excited to go was because there would be For Honor meetups and For Honor panels. So it was like people that liked that. So while Pope was working on For Honor in the community, he could justify going to PAX because it made sense because they didn't have a booth there. It didn't make sense for them to have a booth, but it did make sense for them to have a panel. And then they could film the panel, and they could put the panel up, or whatever. I feel bad for Games PR because InfoSec PR just needs to scan your badge, and they get the email for a decade. Yeah, I mean, it's Games PR. Sometimes gotta go bigger and better, and it's hard. It's hard to be seen. But yeah, I have like I'm grateful that for a while there are some indie booths that seem lame in the moment, but they're so good. Well, that's because also like hey, some indie devs have the space and a little bit of money to like buy some bean bags and have some space to like decorate a little bit. And other indie devs, they're very happy that they were able to get the money together to be there and to pay one of their friends to run the booth an hour a day so they can go to the bathroom and eat and sit. And it's hard. I remember I was one of the first people to because I went to, this was a PAX East where I went to the Indie Mega booth first thing, and I was one of the first people who was not an indie dev to play a title at the mini booth. So the Indie Mega booth, the idea was, let's all pool our resources, we can get something bigger than we would ever be able to afford together, and then we'll all cut the booths into small chunks, and everyone gets a little chunk. And then the mini booth, sometimes it's 2 days, sometimes it's 1 day, depending on what they've got. But they're even smaller little kiosks And they're, for a lot of people, it's like, oh, you get 2 days this weekend, or you get one day, and it's your chance to show your stuff. Generally, mini booth is one kiosk and one, maybe two people, because you don't have a lot of room to do it anyway. So I went to the mini booth and I play this game, and I am very bad at it. And I am like, why am I? I don't like this game. I just don't like it. I don't enjoy it. It's at this time Friday, because it's a 3-day con at this time, and we just opened, and I got down there and I'm playing it, and I'm watching one of only two people who's made this game watch me be bad at their game and just be so fucking pissed off and so frustrated about how I'm not getting it, and I'm asking questions they've never had to answer, and I'm like, and then I just say, so outside of the person that had to see this for you to get this booth, how many people that didn't make it have played it? And he was like 5. And I was like, oh, am I the first person you ever watched play it? And he went, yeah. And I was like, cool. I'm excited to play your game again, but I hope that the next person that plays it, you don't clearly hate watching them do. I hope they're better at it than I am, because I was just like, because it was such a weird experience. I may have gotten into VR because some college kids I met at a booth almost a decade ago, demoing their old phones they pooled together. Hell yeah. I mean, my single greatest experience with VR was going into the indie tabletop booth, and in the corner, because no one was making VR games yet, that's where Keep Talking and No One Explode was, because they didn't know where to put them. And the line wrapped around the indie tabletop booth because it became the hot game to play. Because one, it was the Oculus hadn't come out yet, and two, no one was demoing VR games, and it was also an easy thing to explain. You're like, well, someone holds it and is trying to dismantle a bomb, and you have the instructions, and you're like, oh wait, it's a multiplayer game, and you both don't need to have the headset, and like it just makes sense. But that game was all I played that on like the first day of PAX, and I remember going up to people and like, you have to play this, and you have to play it before it gets well known. Like, that game blew the fuck up because anybody that had like a panel that night or that day, like, word spread. And by Sunday, they were like cutting off the line like every 5 minutes because people were just like so into it. But yeah, that game that I played, that I demoed, I was just like, this is a bad experience. And you'll find that at conventions, right? You'll find people who are just like not as, just like, they're not used to it. They're not used to demoing. You'll find that at comic conventions. If you go to small Comic Cons, you'll find people who have never tabled before and don't know how to sell themselves. They just look sad because they haven't made sales, or they're artists or writers. They're not used to being business people. I consider myself to be, our booth to be the most unique booth in Bandland / Brandland, because League of Heels, when we're there, we are constantly selling ourselves. No one else in Bandland is selling themselves. Maybe it's a band you've never heard of, so you might be like, "Oh, cool. Well, what's your style? What instruments are in your band?" But if it's Sit Down and Shut Up, you know who they are. If it's Loading Ready Run, you know who they are. If it's Chris Straub, you know who he is. But we don't have that recognition with enough people. So part of it was constantly being like, "Well, now I'm going to tell you about this thing," or "Why do you have VHS tapes? Why do you have this? A wrestling show? What is this? Why do you have a wrestling belt? What's going on?" Like, I would have to really explain who we are and what we are, And I was always fine with that because like when we've done it, because like I get that, or you know, you don't know who we are. Why would you know who we are? We know who we are, but you know, I've always understood that like it's a weird sell. But I think there are a lot of people out there who like aren't used to doing that kind of work, especially like you don't. There's no process for understanding how to be a game dev, like and running a booth. Nobody knows how to do that. Like maybe you have experience because you've worked at other venues, but like indie devs don't have like that experience that like generally. Some might from other things and other avenues or oh, well they went indie but they started off working for a company and you know learned how to do it from that way, but like most of the time that's not the case. They're just trying their best. All right, so we are going to stop there. I will get this ready to go for the next stream. We will come back to this kit on which we did the landing here, which the landing stuff does go down, which is fun. We will come back to this and continue the build process on Thursday. Tomorrow, though, Thursday, we are going to start with a Valentine's Day themed kit. We'll build that, and then we'll come back to this and complete it. So thank you very much for watching the stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time tonight with me. I know I had a good time. I hope to see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern for my next regular build stream. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to run an ad. You don't have to watch it, but if you could watch it, that would be great. Comment on my videos on YouTube. Subscribe here. Tell a friend. Especially if they like Lego or Star Wars Lego in particular, or just good fun chats. If they want to hear about the dominoes that I'm buying tomorrow for dinner, and we'll definitely talk about on stream, they can do that as well. Have a great night, and I'll see you on the next Build with Baer. Bye-bye. Goodbye.